How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we have an absolutely banger spice submission from one of the spiciest players right now in the community, MEJP2, and he is running a Hundo level 50 AZU in the Ultra League. Now, if you're not sure why that's impressive, AZU, even at Hundo at level 50, doesn't even break 1800 CP, so this thing is extremely underpowered compared to some of the super bulky meta threats out there. And to top the team off as well, he is running a level 50 Altaria and a Hundo Steelix. So this guy, massive props to him. He is CallumOnToast's current Battle of Spice champion, and he is also the mad lad that recently submitted the Attack Deoxys battles over to Callum. So he is just consistently running some of the craziest spice out there. So mad respect to this guy. And let's just get right into the battles here, guys. I haven't seen them yet, so I am really looking forward to them. And despite the fact that he's at a little bit lower elo, when you're running that level of spice all the time, you can't really blame him, and he's a much better battler than his elo would suggest. So let's see how AZU performs here in the Ultra League. And into the first battle, we have a Jellicent lead into the Altaria. So this is pretty neutral. Obviously, Jellicent is going to be out bulking the Altaria a little bit, but it looks like this Jellicent might not be level 50 either. It's slightly underpowered. It's like 2370, I think. So it should be a pretty even matchup. If they're running Ice Beam, obviously that'd be really bad, but not too many jellies out there running Ice Beam anymore. So I'm going to call it just a Shadow Ball. And I believe they did slightly overfarm. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This might just be a Surf. Does shield at the last second. It is a Surf, unfortunately. But wants to make sure that he can get this next Sky Attack off, because AZU is probably not going to have that good of a matchup into the Jellicent. And they actually just let the Jelly go down, and they bring in a Charizard here. So I think here it's probably just worth staying in, letting them take you out, and then aligning your AZU to this Charizard, because despite the massive CP difference, AZU is actually going to be fully walling all of Charizard's energy. And I'm imagining, even though the AZU is underpowered, it can probably still tank a Blast Burn decently comfortably. I guess we're about to find out here. And Blast Burn does connect, and AZU still has over half of its health remaining, and the opponent has a Venusaur in the back. So this is actually looking a little bit scary, because I'm not sure. Okay, that Frenzy Plate doesn't do quite as much as I thought. I was thinking, since this is a Hundo Steelix, it is going to be slightly XL'd, but it's not going to be fully optimized XL Pokemon. I think the level 1 or the rank 1 is, I believe, like a 0, 15, 15 around there. So we'll have to see. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit scary, because if that Venusaur can farm down here, then this could get a little bit rough. They are going to commit a shield here, but the opponent still has a shield remaining, and he's getting extremely low here, and the Venusaur does farm down. And now, unfortunately, I think this game is just over, because he's not going to bubble down in time, and that Venusaur has so much energy, but the opponent switches out. They switch back into the Charizard. I think this is a big mistake by the opponent. I think all they had to do there was just stay in and make the back-to-back moves, but they get scared, they switch out, and they allow him to get a massive farm down with the AZU. And I think he's only one bubble away from the back-to-back here. And is he right there? Yes, he is. He gets to the Ice Beam. So very nicely done. I think the opponent definitely would have made the back-to-back frenzies if they would have just stayed in there, but yeah, he gets the win anyway, so nicely done there. We'll absolutely take any wins we can get when we're running a team like this. So well played to MEJP2, taking advantage of the opponent's slight misplay. And we're moving into the next battle here, Altaria into Haxorus. So this is a pretty good matchup. Breaking Swipe's obviously going to be hitting for a lot of super effective damage, but these Dragon Breaths are going to be absolutely tearing through the Haxorus, and he gets the catch of the Breaking Swipes onto the AZU. The opponent is probably just dumbfounded that there's an AZU in the Ultra League right now. And again, the AZU is going to be met with a Jellicent here, and this one is also underpowered, 2200, but it's still a higher CP than the AZU by almost 500 CP. So yeah, this is probably going to be a losing matchup for the AZU. They do go straight Shadow Ball, and I don't think there's any reason to really shield the AZU at this point, because it's just not going to be able to take this Jellicent out. Play rough, especially with the debuff, not going to be doing that much damage, and hopefully the opponent throws here. Yeah, I was going to say, if they committed to a farm down, that could have gotten a little bit rough, but they do throw the Shadow Ball. They take the AZU out, and now I'm going to bring back in the Altaria. I think, again, this is just a Surf. This time he's going to call it, and it is a Shadow Ball. So Nerds Rising is not counting. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. But, you know, the battles are going pretty fast, so does make the Sky Attack just before they make another move here. Going to take out the Jellicent. They're probably not going to be shielding, but they do actually shield, and I think, yeah, you just match shields now, farm down, and maybe since they have a Dragon type on the lead, they have another Water type in back, but no, again, I'm calling the teams all wrong here. This is, you know, rank 20-ish battle, so teams aren't always going to be the most optimized, but the opponent lets the Sky Attack go, and now Steelix, even a Hundo Steelix, can definitely take a Blast Burn pretty comfortably here. And I think at this point, the opponent is just going to have their entire team get Dragon Tailed down by the Steelix, and that should be a GG. And they no-shield the Psychic Fangs for some reason. I don't really think there was a reason for them to no-shield that, because their Jellicent is super low, and they only go for a Dragon Claw there. So very nice counting by the by MVJP2 there. And I guess they still have the Haxorus, but the Altaria with health here is just going to be, it's just going to be too much. The counters are going to be resisted, and I think the opponent, because of that no-shield, is probably going to lose this battle with his shield still in play. And very nicely played there by MVJP2, honestly. Kind of a tricky team comp for him there, but manages to take another dub. And it looks like these are just unedited sets as well, so he is on a 2-5 right now. Let's see if he can keep it going. And we're moving into the next battle here. And he's leading Shiny Altaria into a wall rain, so really, really bad matchup here. Probably going to be bringing the Steelix. The opponent just instantly surrenders to... What? Let's go back and see that, guys. I am just completely at a loss right now. Why in the world did they just instantly top left? Okay, we're going to watch this one more time. Was this like a legend that's trying to tank or something? No, they just instantly surrender. Maybe they just see that they recognize his username, knew he was an absolute mad lad Spice Lord, and they just instantly top left. So that is the easiest dub that you're going to take probably all game. So, wow. All right, then. And gets the Wooloo as well. So, by the way, speaking of Wooloo, guys, if you haven't seen my my most recent top 10 wins video, you definitely need to check that out, because there is some crazy spice in there, and one of the battles does actually feature a level 50 Wooloo, so make sure you check that out. He had another Haxorus lead in this battle, but unfortunately this Haxorus was running Dragon Tail, which is significantly worse for the Altaria, but the opponent does switch out, and he's going to answer the Swampert here with the AZU, and again, this is probably a losing matchup for the AZU, just because it's going to be massively, just a massive difference in stat product, and the opponent baits with a Hydro Cannon there. Absolutely savage call there. Going to make the play rough, and yeah, this is just not going to do enough damage, but does the opponent respect it? They do respect it. They double shield there, which is incredible, and now... yeah, I think Hydra's not going to KO, but unfortunately they're probably going to farm down. But the nice thing here is Altaria is going to come in and fully wall this Swampert. And yeah, if the opponent was making a good decision here, they would have no-shielded that Swampert, recognizing that Altaria is still alive and recognizing they're just going to be fully walled here. And yeah, I think that was a mistake for them to double shield their Swampert, but going to massively overfarm here, recognizing a Sky Tech probably still isn't going to KO, and unfortunately, they do make another Hydra, but he should just about live this, and I think the Sky Tech is probably not going to quite KO, and then he's going to get the farm down, and the nice thing is, if he can farm down here, and actually it does KO, he'll have some energy to throw at the Haxorus, and no, unfortunately, he overtaps, doesn't get the energy off, and now his Steelix is going to get debuffed by a Breaking Swipe, and this is going to be a little bit tricky. Now, does no shield it, and does he just surrender there? Yeah. I think, was that game over? Probably, yeah, because the wall range is not going to go down very easily to the Steelix, and they probably were just about an Earthquake range, so yeah, I don't hate the surrender there. It probably was over. If he would have gotten that chip damage off onto the wall rain, and then switched out potentially, and preserved the Altaria to reset that debuff, maybe could have won that battle, but either way, getting into the next battle, we have a Fire Spin Charizard on the lead, and this is a much better situation for Altaria, because I think Altaria can pretty easily here live 2 Dragon Claws, it looks like, and they are committing shields here, and probably going to just let this one go as well, because you're still not going to be in farm down range after this Dragon Claw, and maybe going to force both shields early on from the Charizard. That'd be absolutely incredible. Nice charge move timing there. Throwing in the middle of the Fire Spins, and he gets both shields from the Charizard. Looks like they are committing to the farm down, but now AZU can come in here and fully wall all of this energy. That is absolutely incredible. And Blast Burn, again, doesn't even do half to the 1795 AZU. Gets the full farm down. What do they have in the back? They have a Venusaur. Going to chip with the Ice Beam and probably going to be dipping into the Steelix here and hoping that Steelix can clutch out this endgame. And maybe actually going to try to catch here. And no, just staying in. Going to actually shield this. Maybe this is the play. I'm not sure. I was thinking it would have been better just to bring in the Steelix, but I guess it probably would take multiple Psychic Fangs anyway. So maybe going to get this second Ice Beam up and then farm down with Dragon Tails. And yeah, that's what he's going to do. What does the opponent have in the back? And it's a Swampert. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. I think here the win con is to call a Hydro Cannon bait, because Steelix can very easily live a Hydro. I'm thinking an Earthquake would probably come close to KOing, so I think that's the play. Either shield the Earthquake or call the Hydro. Gonna call it, and of course the opponent baits. Everybody loves to bait with their Swamperts, and I like this play. Just gonna go for the Crunch here. Probably gonna take 1 or 2 more Dragon Tails after the Crunch, and that is gonna be a GG. The Dragon Tail did go through here, can safely shield it up, and gonna get the KO. So nicely played battle there. A very meta team, and he takes it down with the level 50 AZU and the level 50 Altaria. So that right there, folks, was a 4-5 with an AZU, and didn't actually gain that much elo from that. That's kind of surprising. But next battle, we are going to be playing against J.R.R. Rao, and he is leading into a Gliscor here. So this is a pretty nice matchup. Altaria, even in the Ultra League, is just going to be out-bulking this Gliscor, and the non-stab Night Slashes are just really not going to be doing that much damage, so very safely can let this go. And it is actually a Sand Tomb, so some pretty crazy spice movesets out here in the 1800s. And what did the opponent bring in there? I didn't see. Oh, no, I thought they switched out there. Still the Altaria, and are they actually just running Night Slash or Sand Tomb and maybe Earthquake? And no, they're actually running Night Slash and Sand Tomb. So very interesting decision there by the opponent to bait with a Sand Tomb, because it still is going to take multiple Night Slashes to KO this Altaria. So yeah, I think if you're the opponent there's definitely no reason to go for the Sand Tomb. They do get the farm down, but again, AZU could just come in here, and did they actually blind throw? I guess they're not running Earthquake again. I was going to say, did they blind throw the Night Slash? But yeah, this is just a really comfortable position right now for MUJP2. Gonna farm this Gliscor all the way down, and again, they're just going for Sand Tombs. Not going to be doing a lot of damage, and it does have a 2-0 shield advantage. What does the opponent have in the back here? And they're thinking about it, and they bring in a Togekiss, and gonna pivot into the Steelix here. Maybe it would have been nice to chip there with the Ice Beam first, but they actually have a Melmetal in the back, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. I think here you're going to be okay, because the opponent's going to have to debuff themselves in order to do any meaningful damage, and they bait with the double resisted Rock Slide. And yeah, I think if the game wasn't over already, it's definitely over now, because Superpower is not going to be KOing here, and once the opponent starts debuffing themselves, these Crunches and Psychic Fangs are going to do a lot more damage, and correctly shields the Superpower now. And yeah, the Togekiss is actually going to be having a pretty tricky time taking out the Steelix, despite the fact that the Dragon Tails are going to be double resisted. Once you get a couple Psychic Fangs debuffs off onto that thing, maybe that's why he saved the Ice Beam. Actually, that makes quite a bit of sense, recognizing the Ice Beam is going to do a lot more once he debuffs this thing with the Psychic Fangs later on. So yeah, I like this play. I think at this point you just save your last shield for the AZU and makes the second Psychic Fangs, and now this Ice Beam from the AZU should probably just about KO the Togekiss. Gonna make the snipe, and that is gonna be all she wrote, folks, and takes another dub there. So very nicely played. Opponents just have no response whatsoever for this AZU, and obviously making some questionable decisions. Sometimes these opponents like double shielding their Gliscor and then going for a Sand Tomb on an Altaria, but you know what? Like I said, MUJP2 is just a better battler than some of these opponents, and picks up the absolute dream lead here in the next battle. Swampert into Altaria. Again, this is going to be a situation where Altaria is going to be fully walling all of the energy by the Swampert, and I'm not sure why they're staying in here. They must be double weak to this somewhere in back, so maybe they have another water type in the back, or like a Venusaur in the back or something, and they're not even running Sludge Wave. They're going straight for Hydro Cannons here, and I think at this point you can just no-shield this and probably even commit to a full farm down, because it easily can tank a couple more Hydro Cannons. And at this point, if you're in this situation, you should be recognizing that once the Swampert goes down, you're probably going to want to pivot out of here and save that Altaria, because they likely are going to be weak in the back. And sure enough, there's a Trevenant in the back. Unfortunately, he is pretty low here, so I'm not sure he's going to make the back-to-back Sky Attacks, but does pivot out of there, saves the Altaria for potential catch later on. And this is going to be a very comfortable matchup for the Steelix. And I think Crunch is probably just barely not going to KO here, but going to easily get the farm down here. And unfortunately, is lagging a little bit. And hopefully the opponent didn't get super far ahead on energy there, but does correctly shield the Shadow Ball. At this point, probably only going to be making a Seed Bomb. Very easily can farm down, and we'll have to see what's in the back. Do they actually have an answer to this Altaria somewhere in back? And there's a Toxicroak in the back, so even though he's going to be taking super effective damage from counters, these Psychic Fangs are going to absolutely chunk this Toxicroak, and makes another one just barely, and the opponent shielded the first one, so this one's going to be doing so much more damage. And that is a very bad move right there on from the Steelix non-stab, but it still almost one-shots the Toxicroak. They try to, I'm not sure, maybe they just tried to reset their debuff there, but yeah, that game was so over. So very nicely played there, taking out the Toxicroak with the AZU. and that's a GG. So some pretty interesting battles. For sure, AZU, you can see that it's definitely out bulked by a lot of these things, but it still has some pretty nice matchups. Do that fairy and water typing. It has a lot of matchups where it just fully wells things, like Charizard, for example, and like the Gliscor matchup's really nice, and the typing definitely helps it out despite the massive CP difference. And the opponent here is also running some spice. They're running an Ultra League Relicanth. That is definitely not something you see. And they go for the Hydro Pump. Oh my gosh, they're running Water Gun, Hydro Pump, and what else are they running? Surf, maybe? Are they not running it? Oh, they're running Aqua Tail. So that opponent is running a double or triple water moveset, actually. And I don't think that's the play, really. I mean, crazy spice, obviously. But yeah, I think you definitely want to have some rock-type coverage if you're going to run Relicanth. But yeah, the opponent brings in a Fury Cutter Genesect here, and I honestly have no idea what drive this is. Is that a yellow drive on the back? I honestly cannot tell, to be honest. And they're just going for Magnet Bombs anyway, and I'm not really sure why they switched a Fury Cutter user into an Altaria. That is definitely not a very intelligent decision by the opponent there, but does take out the Genesect. They just fully sack it there, and they actually have an Obstagoon in the back, so this is actually a pretty nice situation because he has the AZU, and the opponent's probably not going to be shielding up any of these Psychic Fangs, so going to get a ton of debuffs off onto this Obstagoon, and then he's going to be bringing in the AZU and fully walling all of this Goon's energy, unless they're running something like Gunk Shot or something, but I doubt that they are, so AZU's probably going to have an incredible time here. They did boost, but honestly, I don't really think it matters that much, but they actually are farming up quite a bit of energy here, so maybe they are on a bigger move here. We'll have to see. Is he going to respect it, or is it just going to be another Night Slash here? And it is the Gunk Shot. Oh my gosh. Massive shield there. I might have been tempted to let that go, honestly, guys, but he calls the move correctly, and now I think this game's over. I don't think he needed to shield that move, but just wants to play it safe, and probably going to come out of this matchup with 100 energy, and we've already seen the Relicanth is only on Aqua Tail and Hydro Pump, and now can just double play rough the Goon here. I think that's the safer play. Since they reset their debuff, I'm not sure an Ice Beam would KO here, but yeah, going to outpace, makes it to the play rough. This is only a Night Slash, and this is going to be a G to the G, so wow, incredible shield there on the Gunk Shot. Again, I might have been tempted to no-shield that, especially considering he had 2 shields there, and especially in the lower elos, opponents love to bait you when you have 2 shields, so massive balls there to call that correctly in. Gets the Wobbuffet, misses it first, catches it now, and has 2 more battles, it looks like, in the set, so I'm guessing we probably have 2 more battles left here, guys, and currently has only lost 1 battle with a level 50 AZU and a level 50 Altaria, so another really nice lead here. Shadow Swampert. And again, the opponent is staying in here, and this time they are building up quite a bit of energy, so maybe they could be on Sludge Wave here. So I like getting the move off first, putting some pressure on them to shield, and this is definitely going to be enough for a Sludge Wave. Is he going to respect it? Altaria could definitely live it, and it is just a Hydro Cannon bait, so very nicely called there. And I think that this is just a Hydro Cannon. I could be wrong, but it's probably just going to be another Hydro at this point. Yeah, just another Hydro. And it looks like Altaria can very easily live 1 more. And probably going to over-farm here, and then I would guess probably go for a Sky Attack just before they get to another one. And does go for the Sky Attack here. And again, probably should be considering pivoting out here. And the opponent does have another Trevenant, so very similar team comp here, and just barely makes the Sky Attack. And this makes quite a bit of sense. So maybe they are triple weak to this Altaria, and they do commit both shields, and now Steelix is going to have a very comfortable time here. And I like the play there of just, when you saw the Trevenant there, I like the play of just letting yourself get farmed down, because if you switch out of there to preserve the Altaria, then your AZU is going to be aligned to this Trevenant, and that would be very, very rough. So the opponent did throw a Seed Bomb there. This is probably just going to be another Seed Bomb, but wants to keep his Steelix healthy. They're staying in, so they might be weakened back. And oh my gosh, they're running an Ultra League Greninja, and he has a level 50 AZU to counter the Greninja. Absolute crazy scenes here. That poor Ultra League Greninja just getting fully walled by a level 50 AZU. You absolutely love to see it. I don't think I've ever seen a Greninja in the Ultra League, guys. But I'm guessing we're probably going to be seeing some more of those things, considering that the Greninja is getting the new move here on the next Community Day. And into the final battle of the set here, we have a Goon lead, and this is a very nice matchup for Altaria. I think Altaria actually does have some nice play in the Ultra League. Again, it is a little bit underpowered, so maybe Dragonite's a better pick, but he does go straight Moonblast. The opponent tries to call a bait. And again, they're staying into a pretty negative matchup, so they might be weak in the back. So they bring in the Guillotine, and he's going to pivot into the Steelix, and they just surrender. So yeah, they were just yeah, in shambles there. So nicely played battles by MEJP2. Again, obviously these are lower ace range battles, but when you're an absolute Spice Lord like this man, we will give you a pass on being a little bit lower elos, because when is the last time that you guys saw a level 50 AZU in play in the Ultra League? So huge thank you to this trainer again. This guy is crazy, playing all kinds of crazy teams. Check his battles out over at CallumOnToast channel. But yeah, thank you again for sending in the battles. If you guys, by the way, if you haven't voted on my most recent poll, we are now in the finals for the top wins of the month. We have Jamie Finn, the Shadow Master, with his 1v3 Alolan Graveler sweep, or we have 89 CGY Flames with the level 50 Wooloo that does not even break 800 CP. So two absolutely awesome finalists. They both deserve to win this competition, but make sure you guys vote, and we will crown our first ever top 10 wins series winner. So again, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for all the support recently. Come check me out on Discord if you want to. The link is in the description. And if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.